Hello, and welcome to the Street Aesthete channel. Today we're playing Geoguessr, and in a first for this channel, we are going to be dueling. We have our first opponent here, a Hungarian. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his name. We're playing no move. Let's get into it. Okay, we're in the US, I would say here. No, perhaps not. The 14, no, it's Canada. We're in Western Canada. West Vancouver, east of Pendleton. So that would put us somewhere around here. Can we see Pendleton anywhere? Can we see the 14? Not my favourite kind of round, if I'm honest. I tend not to enjoy looking for roads. And I'm still not even convinced that we are in Canada, if I'm perfectly honest. No, it does look like Canada. I just can't see this road, the 14, anywhere. Perhaps it's a different Vancouver? Would that make sense? Let's take a look here. Yeah, we're not on a grid that's completely orientated to the cardinal directions. I only wish we could find this road 14. Okay, we've got a 15 here, so this must be the 14, right? But we've got the 15 and the 13 there, but that doesn't make any sense because it's not orientated in the correct direction. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're somewhere a lot further east. Yeah, I'm just going to have to actually put us in maybe somewhere more like around here, because it's pretty flat. Yeah, it was actually the US. Alright. So, not a great start, but at least we didn't drop any HP so far. This looks like Europe. But whereabouts is a little bit more tricky. I suppose I'm thinking about Italy, but also about the Balkans. Also thinking about France with this corn, but I think that is leading me in the wrong direction. Yeah, a bit of a tricky one here. But on the whole, I think I do like Italy the most, but I could also see this being Romania. Yeah, not the easiest start. I think I'm going to put us in Italy, but I'm not really sure about it at all. Okay, it was Italy, but a different part of the country. So nice at least to get the right country, if not the right region. Okay, I believe I was going to say we're in North America, but now I've seen this truck, I'm not so sure. Sun in the south, which puts us in the northern hemisphere. Where would we be driving on the right with this car? What year is this coverage? 24. This must be some new, well, it is new of course. Relatively new coverage. Is this perhaps a country I've not even seen before? My only other thought would be, could we be somewhere in Kazakhstan with this car and this year of copyright? But that doesn't really make any sense. Kazakhstan is generally a lot flatter. Could this be Lebanon? That would almost make sense climate-wise. But yeah, honestly, a bit of a baffling round here. I'm not at all sure. Yeah, I suppose I'm going to go Lebanon, but I'm really not sure about that in the least bit. Where would we go? Is this a large enough lake to be this? Unlikely. It looks a bit more deserty around here, doesn't it? Yeah, honestly quite baffled by this round. I really thought it would be North America. But the cars would say otherwise. Alright, I'm just going to put the guess in and we'll see what happens. I don't think we're likely to get kicked out in as early a round as this. And yeah, Kazakhstan is where we are. I really should have gone with my gut there. Everything matched. The car, the copyright year, not the terrain. And a very atypical round for Kazakhstan, I would say. Okay, sun in the north, so we're in the southern hemisphere here. Which side of the road are we driving on? Not entirely clear. We're not in Australia because we've got yellow down the middle, which points us towards South Africa, I would say. Is there any chance that we're in the Americas here? Probably not, with those cat's eyes down the middle. Yeah, I suppose I'm just going to put us outside of Johannesburg. Not too sure about this though. Oh wow. Yep, okay, it was Argentina. And that is going to be enough to kick us out of the game. A great pity. So I have been in a pendulum swing between the Gold League and the Master 2 League for months and months, really. I often, when I'm in the Gold League, manage to claw my way back up, and then will last a few games before I drop right back down again against the more difficult opponents in the Upper League. And I will just wave hello to this chap. Okay, we have got something that I would enjoy remarking upon in Street Estate, but that's not what we're here for today. So it's an Orthodox church. Which country are we in? I'm checking the car here to see if we can see the telltale red car of Ukraine, which we can't. So how do we distinguish this from, how do we tell if this is Russia or Ukraine? 2020, I'm thinking more about Russia at this point. And something about the dirt is kind of leaning me over in this direction, the colour, the kind of brownness of it, but I'm not really too convinced of that. So I'm going to kind of hedge us in the middle here, roughly, of Russia. I don't know if that's a good idea. We shall see. And yeah, much further west, sort of halfway between Veliki Novgorod and Moscow. Not a great start. That's big damage in the first round. And we are in a country driving on the left. Looks like it's India. I think that's very likely. I would like to be able to get a closer look at the script here. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. So, yeah, very lush, a bit further south, I would say, and it kind of looks like it could be more of a Tamil sort of script. Are we possibly in a different country? No, I do believe that this is Indian coverage, so let's just kind of put it in the middle of this whole area that I think it could be, in the south of India. Yep, okay, not bad. That is a good rejoinder to that initial mess up in Russia. Okay, we appear to be in Europe, I would say, by the white road lines. Let's just confirm the sun. Yep, we're in the northern hemisphere. And where am I thinking of? Greece and Spain come to mind. Of the two, oh, even Portugal, I suppose, is possible. Yeah, I'm not sure how to confirm in one direction or the other. The smart play, if you're unsure, of course, might be to go for Italy or even Sardinia, something in the middle, the hedge. But no, I think on the whole this is looking more Spanish with the tree-clad hills than Greek. So I'll go Spain, and I'm going to kind of hedge over towards Portugal as well. It's a bit of a westerly commit, but we'll see if it's paid off. And it has paid off to go in Spain, but it hasn't paid off for this round. Nonetheless, we soldier on, confident that we can snatch the win from the jaws of defeat. Well, we're not quite at the jaws of defeat yet, So we're almost certainly in Iceland, aren't we? And I wonder if we can spot that geographical feature. Looks like this part, doesn't it? So we're probably somewhere out on here. Yeah, not bad. Using the tourist map that we could see there. Pretty pleased to have spotted that. Okay, we drive on the right. We're in Asia. Or are we? Is this an Asian or a South American person? Hard to tell. Where is the sun? The sun is more or less in the middle, which isn't too helpful. I think that lorry there, with its kind of big grille, has a bit more of South America about it, as does the road quality. So, yeah, thinking about Colombia, I suppose. Not too happy about it. It would be a flat bit. And most of Colombia is mountainous, so I'm not very happy with the guess. But we'll see how it's turned out. Okay, Guatemala. Oh, no, just over the border into Mexico, in fact. Well, we didn't make a great guess, but we were slightly closer than our opponent. Okay, we are in Europe. And Kamieniec. Not sure how you would pronounce that one. And we've got these... this kind of concrete double pole, which you can see in Poland, but also in Hungary. It's flat here, very flat, and I think it is actually probably Poland. Hungary is a possibility, but no, I think a flat part of Poland would make sense. Maybe a little bit farther south, but then it's often best to go for the Łódź hedge. The Łódź hedge. Let's stick it in. Okay, yeah. Hedging for the middle of the country has indeed paid off. And pleased to have recognised that concrete pole to identify the country. Now, we've got white road lines here. Looks like Turkey. Is there anything we can see that will confirm that? Nothing to completely confirm it at this point, but our opponent has put us in, so let's make the guess. Does it make sense to go in the middle? Probably. Just go in the middle. Okay, yeah, middle again paying off as it just hedges us into the win. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. After losing the first duel of the day and the first duel of this video, it's nice to now take a victory, which has jumped us quite a few places up into 12th place in the leaderboard of, it will be 30. But where I want to be is up here in the promotion zone in the top 4, and we've got 20 games to get up there, so let's keep playing and see if we can achieve it. Current rating 799. I have been rated in the past up in the high 800s. I might even have got over into 900 at some point. I think that's probably the highest I've ever been. And we'll see if we can get up there again on this occasion. We've got a Danish player here, Marius Lindeskov. This is the Americas, I think. Is it Africa? We do have a lot of African-looking people around. It's Ghana. Should have looked down to see the car. Okay, whereabouts in Ghana? Ooh, I don't know. Looks quite lush. Let's just kind of go between. I'm thinking about this area around the lake, so between there and Kumasi is probably about right. Let's see how we do. Okay, just pipping our opponent there, with not a terrible guess in Ghana. I think this is New Zealand. Yeah, I think the ferns are all saying New Zealand. I believe I may even have driven on this road, and if I have been on this road, it's somewhere on the wild west coast, somewhere kind of around here is where I've got in mind. I'm going to go with my gut, stick it in. Oh, yeah. It was that very road. I was a lot further south, but hey, good to be on the right road in the right country. I don't think I have driven that far north in New Zealand on that particular road. Looks like Brazil to me. And let's just confirm the hemisphere. Sun in the north puts us in southern hemisphere. Got this very red dirt, a big lorry, rather flat landscape. Yeah. Kind of thinking about Mato Grosso do Sul, kind of making sense. Goiás could also work. Yeah, I'll put it in. We could be a little bit further south, I suppose. Rio Grande do Sul could work. But yeah, we're probably in roughly the right sort of part of the country. And yeah, it was Rio Grande do Sul. But being further south, hey, we haven't taken any damage yet. This game is going well. It's India. We know that from the look of the coverage. I think India's getting new coverage at the moment, so it's going to be less easy to tell in future. But what does this look like to me? Rather flat and agricultural, sort of makes me think of the Punjab up here, but I don't know if I want to commit that far north. So I might just kind of go, yeah, because we could be further east, but I think we're reasonably far north. I'm going to stick it in. Yeah, oh, it was the Punjab. Okay. And that is going to be enough. Oh, not quite. Our opponent hangs on by the skin of his Danish teeth. And here we are in Europe. Looks like Scandinavia, with these kind of slatted panels. Yeah. Can we see a flag anywhere? That would be a nice one to help us confirm. Yeah, I'm between Sweden and Norway. And I'm not really sure which feels right to me. Probably Norway, more than anything. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of go outside of Oslo and maybe hedge towards Sweden. Let's stick it in. Oh, Finland. Wow. Okay, well, we take the win nonetheless. But yeah, I would say a relatively atypical finish round there. In that, not that Finland is by any means a poor country or one that's often run down, but it's just often more densely forested, let's say. Okay, well, we're starting to develop a bit of a win streak here. We've got an Indian opponent. Let's see if we can make this our third win on the trot. Thinking about Greece, but no, with these hills here. Completely not correct. The poplars, this building. Yeah, I'm kind of mixing myself up a bit here. Where are we? It looks like a warm climate, but with this snow-capped hill. Yeah, I'm really thrown by this. Are we in the southern hemisphere here? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to go for Turkey, I suppose. I'm really kind of baffled by this, if I'm honest. Yeah, I don't think Turkey is correct, but oh, okay. Yeah, it was Turkey. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Sort of edging towards Armenia and Georgia. Yeah, all makes sense. The southerly climate with the snow-capped hills. You are within a something area, a conservation area, perhaps. Yeah, this looks like either New Zealand or Australia, and if it is Australia, I would say Tasmania. Any way to tell which of those it could be? I think we've got these Australian posts, haven't we? In which case, yeah, let's not wait too much longer. Are we in Victoria? Is that possible? No, I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to stick us in Tasmania, and, you know, maybe somewhere here outside of Launceston. I think that's how you say it. It's Launceston in Tasmania, but the Launceston that I believe it was named after in Cornwall in England is pronounced Launceston. So that's how you can tell them apart. Yeah, okay, so it was Tasmania, but the other end of the island. In fact, it may even be, yeah, a different island. Looks like US to me. Yeah, I think that's more or less confirmed. Although, could this? Yeah, no, it couldn't be Canada. So we've got the 360, the 14. Hey, we had the 14 before, but was that a different 14? And that was up around here. Does that work? I mean, I was thinking more like way over kind of here in this area, if I'm honest. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like the West. I think we'll have to just do a quick scan for those roads over here. 14360. Got a 320, an 11. I don't really understand the sequence of roads in the US. I'm gonna go with my gut here and go around here. Yeah, okay, not a terrible guess. We take our first bit of damage. We were just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Okay, sun in the north, putting us in the southern hemisphere. This is probably the Americas, isn't it? So, if we're in South America, with a yellow road line, that rules out Chile. Could we be in Argentina? If we are somewhere in the north, I'm kind of thinking about Bolivia. Maybe up in the mountains somewhere. Yeah, not loving this, not loving it, but I'm gonna trust my instinct. Whoa, okay. Yeah, it was Argentina. And we were, well, in the north of the country, but yeah, I didn't think there was quite so much rockiness in Argentina. I often think of the kind of the flat plains. Okay, we're in the former Soviet Union, I would say. Do we have Cyrillic or do we have Latin? It looked like Latin over there, but that doesn't necessarily rule out any of the former Eastern Bloc countries. Yeah, looking more English, I would say, or rather Latin alphabet than Cyrillic. And what do we think of the trees? We've got birches, we've got pines. Yeah, we've also got this nice spring blossom. It's a tricky one. I think I was thinking about Poland, I was also thinking about the Baltics, and yeah, I think I'm probably going to go for Lithuania. Just got a feeling about it. Not very confident, but we'll see how it goes. Lithuania isn't too bad a hedge if it turns out being further south. Yeah, hopefully that's not going to be too much to knock us out. No, we are losing ground here though. This Indian player is putting up some stiff competition, and we admire him for that. We are in Europe again, and possibilities include, first of all, I was going to say Czechoslovakia and Hungary, but actually looking around, I'm more thinking of France. But yeah, not too convinced either way, really. Yeah, I think with these curly lampposts, it's got to be France. And if indeed it is France, maybe a little bit further south, but I don't know, I was almost thinking that this could be Parisian suburbs. I don't think that's right. I'm just going to go kind of in the middle of France, but hedging east in case it does turn out to be something like Hungary, which is still in my mind a possibility, but I almost wish now, having gone France, that we'd gone a little bit further south. Oh wow, yeah, and it was the suburbs of Paris. Again, I'm often second-guessing myself and making worse guesses. Yeah, Parisian suburbs. Okay, and now, where are we? I think we're probably in Spanish-speaking America. Or not. Bangkok, Mass. Could this be the Philippines? No, but we've got a lady in a veil. And we've got these sort of Islamic influenced shapes here. Yeah, this is a seriously tricky round. I think we're probably in Asia. And gosh, I mean, I suppose I'm sort of thinking about Malaysia and Singapore. More Malaysia on the whole. I'm not loving this. Yeah, okay, so it was Surabaya on the island of Java. We were in Indonesia, not Malaysia. We are in Asia again. Where is the sun? Sun in this case, so it's northern hemisphere, and we've even got a flag here, but not a national flag, so it's not going to help us on this occasion. Which side of the road? Probably driving on the left. I think we might be in Indonesia again here. Is there anything that can confirm that for us? But we have got quite a fancy... Is that a tiled roof or kind of a faux tile? I think it's a faux tile, but we've also got these tin roofs. Yeah. A tricky round. I believe it's Indonesia. We know we're in the northern hemisphere, so I suppose I'm going to put us on Sumatra. No, I'm going to hedge. I'm going to hedge between. I'm going to hedge a little bit further east. And it's a good thing I did. We were on Sulawesi, and we were indeed just in the northern hemisphere, just over the equator there. Okay, hopefully this is going to be the round that we win in. We shall see. We're in Europe. Bit of a rolling landscape. Thinking about Poland, thinking about Czechia. Also Slovakia. Might just kind of hedge between them. Go for the tri-point here. Yeah, I don't love the guess. Will it pay off? It has just about paid off. Yeah, we were in northwestern Poland there, just outside of Szczecin. I'm not sure how you pronounce that particular one. Lovely tiled roof here. Lots of tiled roofs. Sun in the north puts us in the southern hemisphere. Are we in Asia or the Americas here? I think Asia. Yeah, surely Asia. And with tiled roofs like this, I suppose that would maybe put us on the island of Java. And I'm just going to put us in the middle. Quite flat though. Looks like a little bit more hilly over here. But I do still fear that we may be in the Americas. Although look, we've got the ubiquitous little scooters. Yeah, looking more Asian on the whole. I only worry about whether we might be somewhere a lot further west. Like, is it possible that we're in somewhere like Sri Lanka? No, not with the sun in the north. Okay, let's make the guess. Yep, good stuff. Correct island. Or is this in fact a separate island? Well, it doesn't matter because we got a good latitude and the right part of the country, and we take the win. That is our third win in a row, and in spite of the slightly rough start to this video, we are not doing too badly. We've played 4 games, let's make it a 5th. I'm playing in the early morning before work. I do have a day job, which is why I'm not an extremely good Geoguessr player. If I had all the time in the world, I would have learned to be a much better player, but I'm not quite there. I have to devote most of my time to making music and doing my day job. Now, where are we here? We've got this pole which turns up in France, Portugal, Spain, Brazil, and also in Africa. And I believe we're in Africa here. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. I suppose I'm not really sure. I'm not at all sure about this. I don't think we're in Nigeria. I think Senegal actually is probably where we are, and I'm going to wish I had changed it up. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, sometimes it's best to just not even think too much and just go with your gut. Wasn't a typical Nigerian round, but I'm very happy with that result. This could be over very quickly, this game. Okay. This is either going to be Czechia or Slovakia, going by the language. I'm still not great at telling them apart. We've got a country code here, which is HR. Is that Hungary? Ah, no, of course, it's Croatia. And where would we be? Yeah, just kind of outside of Zagreb, hedging towards Hungary. Makes sense. Okay, not bad. I didn't note, by the way, earlier that we've got a Dutch opponent. And we are in Europe, probably in the Alps by the looks of things. And do we have Locam, the Swiss Locam? I'm very bad at recognising it, but I would say we probably don't. And it kind of doesn't quite look fancy enough in a way for Switzerland, so I'm going to go for Austria. But I could even, to be honest, see this being northern Italy, so maybe I'll, just put us in the middle of the country. Not too sure about that one. And yeah, it was Austria. Not too close to the Slovenian and the Italian border. We're now slowly wearing the Dutchman down. This is surely the city of Amman in Jordan. I don't know where else we could be, really. Let's see if we can line the road up. Pretty much heading north-south. See if we can find a likely road. Oh, gone too far. Too far in there. Something like this is a possibility. Yeah, let's go for it. Not bad. I think that's going to be enough. Yeah. Different bit of the city, but the right city nonetheless. And that was a flawless game. Not flawless in that every guess was brilliant, but flawless in that we didn't take any damage. Okay, well, we're on a roll here. I say we play on. We are currently in the promotion zone. Now, that doesn't by any means mean that we can't get knocked out of it, but there's a good possibility that we'll make it back into the next round for next week. Our opponent is Belgian. I believe we are in South America. We do kind of seem to be driving on the left here, but I wonder if that's just because of going around these sharp bends. No, I think we are driving on the left. And we are in either Indonesia or Malaysia. Sun is pretty firmly in the south, I would say, which would put us in the northern hemisphere. So, yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm thinking about Sumatra here. Not totally convinced, but we'll see. Here's our opening gambit. Yeah, okay, it was Indonesia, but we were actually in on the island of Sulawesi. It's another South America, Asia, 50-50 for me here. I think with the wooden fencing, you're more likely to go in the Americas. And yeah, difficult. I'm thinking about northern Brazil. I'm not loving it, but the opponent's putting the pressure on, so let's see. Wow, okay, yeah, the 50-50 is real. We were just over the border in Laos there. Could this be another 50-50? No, I think this time surely we are in Asia. I say surely. The red brick points me more towards the Americas. as does the wooden pole, to be honest. But this building is looking more... Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to go America. Yeah, I'm not at all sure about this. I'm going to go Brazil again. Wow. What a great guess from our opponent there. Kind of a really surprisingly good guess, to be honest. We might take a moment to try and assess whether or not there might have been some cheating going on there. Or it could just be a lucky guess. We've got Cyrillic here. And I don't know about the antennas. I don't know about the car meta. I'm thinking more about Russia than Ukraine at the moment. Where in Russia? I mean, you know, we don't have much to go on here. I'm going to keep it relatively far west in case it is Ukraine. Our opponent has a similar idea, but we were in fact way east. Don't think we really deserved any points there, but we took a couple. We really need to make a bit of a comeback here after that tricky South American round. Sun in the north puts us in the southern hemisphere. Yellow road line. Thinking about Peru. Also thinking about Bolivia. Yeah, quite distinctive. But not really ringing any bells for me. Yeah, I'm going to go for Peru. Maybe hedging a little bit further south in case it is Bolivia. I feel as though it would be a lot drier here. But we do have cacti, so... Let's see. Okay, Ecuador. That was the comeback round we were looking for. Not a great guess, but yeah, checking the sun really did us some big favours there. Okay. Just checking the sun again. Looks to me like Ukraine. Russia is still possible. But no, on the whole, I'm liking Ukraine for this. Probably a bit further east. Could be Russia. Yeah, not too sure. Let's try it. I'm going Ukraine, I suppose, for the slightly reddish-brown colour of the road, which often points us more towards Ukraine than Russia. The birches point us a little bit further north. Wow, okay. And we were way east. Yeah, it's another one of these guess west, get east in Russia rounds. But hey, at least we got the right country. That was never Spain, where our opponent went. We are in the Americas. We've got speed limit rather than maximum, which puts us in the US rather than Canada. And not too far north, not too far south. East coast, pretty flat. Maryland, Pennsylvania. We could be a bit further south though here. Yeah, I'm thinking further north though with these brick buildings. Right, okay, that might be trouble for us. It was indeed trouble for us. Yeah, we were a lot further west. Shame to have broken the streak, but our win ratio is not too bad. What's that? 4 wins to 2 losses? Yeah, let's just take a look at the replay of that particular round. Which was it? The one in Argentina. This one. Yeah, this was rather a suspicious round. Let's see what our opponent did. Legitimately looking around, checking the sun. Looking at a dragonfly. Zooming in, adjusting. No, honestly, looks perfectly legitimate to me. I'm not going to be complaining about that. Now here is a question for the Geoguessr devs. How do I get out of this screen? What am I supposed to do? I want a little X to click out of here. I want a back button. Yeah, we're going to do one last duel before I stop recording and get to work. Let's see if we can make it a win. And we've got Snipe Master the Swede as our opponent here. A relatively low-rated player. Looks like Brazil. Colombia also possible. Actually, Colombia looking more likely, but we don't have the yellow... Oh, we do have a yellow license plate. Yeah, it's got to be Colombia. And whereabouts? I suppose we're just going to kind of stick it in the middle, outside of Bogota. Let's go for it. Our opponent gets the same idea, and we just hit them on the distance. Okay, sun in the north. We're in the southern hemisphere here. Looks like it's going to be South Africa. Is Australia possible? Probably not, with all of these kind of bits of fencing around the properties. Looks very dry. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about around here. Equally, we could be more up here, closer to Botswana. Yeah, I'm going to hedge a little bit further north. Let's go for it. I don't want to give our opponent too much time to think. Are there any other clues here? We have actually got these eucalypts, which makes me think more of Australia now, but it's too late to change the guess. Oh, well, yep, okay, it was Australia. We were in New South Wales. At least we were in the correct hemisphere, unlike our opponent, who has guessed Colombia again by the looks of it. Okay, we're driving on the right here, in the northern hemisphere. I think this has got to be Mexico, hasn't it? Not too sure about that though. No, is this... The Mex there is certainly making me think of Mexico. As is the road, the big lorries, the landscape, not so much, but the cacti are saying Mexico to me. Okay. I'm thinking about, yeah, this sort of area, not too far north, because it's not looking extremely US American, but relatively flat. Let's try it. Yeah, okay, not a bad guess, just outside of Mexico City, and that is almost enough damage to give us the win. Let's make this the round. Looks like South America. Very dusty and dry looking, also very flat. You're more likely to see those sorts of signs in Chile and Argentina, but I don't really think that's where we are. I was thinking of Peru, but then it is so flat. Yeah, I'm not loving this. I think we could well be a lot further north, but I am going to go Argentina on the strength of that sign. That road sign. Yeah, okay, it was Argentina. Not a great region guess, but at least we didn't go Peru. Okay, looking like Europe. Let's see if we can confirm that. Yeah, we've got an EU number plate there on the car. Landscape is quite flat. Thoughts here? Romania comes to mind. A flat part of Romania outside of the Carpathians. But then, yeah, I think we're quite far north actually. Going by these birches. Could this be the Baltics? Yeah, you know what? The Baltics make a lot of sense. And I could see this being Estonia even. Thinking about Latvia though. Yeah, not too sure, but I think we are in the Baltics. Yeah, okay, correct country, but our opponent's actually going to take the win on this round. But yeah, we were way over in the west of Latvia. Looks like the Americas with white road lines, which means there's only one place we can be, which is Chile. And it is looking very dry up here, so certainly going to be thinking about the north of the country. Is that too far north? Possibly. I'm going to go a little bit further down. Not on a road, as we were with my earlier guess, but... Oh, okay, Bolivia. So you sometimes do get white road lines in Bolivia, it turns out, and that is just not quite enough to win the game for us. But this round, I think we'll get there. Okay. Looking again, like South America, sun in the right hemisphere for that, and I mean, it's got to be Brazil, hasn't it? This kind of red, dusty dirt, the palm trees certainly pointing us further north. Piauí, Maranhão. Yeah, between those two. Tocantins, I suppose, also possible. Yeah, I'm going to kind of hedge between all of those. Hey, a great change up at the last minute there. We were just in the state of Maranhão, I think. Or were we just over the border? Well, it doesn't matter too much because we take the win. And I'm not going to lie to you, I've been having a fantastic time playing Geoguessr this morning, but as I say, I do need to get to work, so that's enough for this video, but I will return for more duels and we'll see if we can not only maintain our position in second place on the leaderboard here, but let's see if we can get into first place. If you've been enjoying the music that you hear in this video, then do take a look at my first channel, which is where I upload all of my original music, and take a look at some of my other channel content, which includes street view explorations of noteworthy locations. See you next time.